It's Sunday the 30th and our first full day on the Isle of Mull. I'm John and this is Fun with Filmora.
Lights, camera, action!
Let's have some fun. In this tutorial we're going to look at two ways you can create slideshows. The first way is with Filmora's built-in instant mode, which is amazing. It uses AI to create your slideshow for you. You import your clips, video and or images and it sets them all up for you. It lays them all out. It provides music for you, the text, but you can change the text. It does all the transitions and effects. It's really good. You'll see that in this first part of the video. Now this video I created late on last year for Filmora 11, but the concept for Filmora 12 is exactly the same and it's quite in depth, so I thought I'd reuse that one. I hope you don't mind. And the second part is me showing you how you can create your own slideshows using drag and drop of your own images and video, and again using all transitions, titles and effects that are built into Filmora. So I hope you enjoy it. Well, I hope you're sitting comfortably and you've got a cup of coffee with you, because this one is quite a long one. Apologies for that, but it's quite in depth as well, so hopefully it'll help you in some way. Two of my subscribers, Russell Swindlehurst and Mixflix, would both like to see a tutorial on how to create slideshows using either images or video or a mixture of both. So hopefully I'm going to show you how to do this in this tutorial. Right, enough said. Shut up, John. Get on with it. So what is instant mode? Put simply, it allows you to create stunning and professional looking videos without any editing skills. All you need to do is add 5 clips or more and let the software do the rest. When you first open Filmora, you're greeted with this window, and on the left is instant mode. Clicking on that brings up the instant mode window, which displays templates in a few different categories such as family, education, slideshow, which is great for images, cinematic, business, upbeat and vlog. Hovering over any of these will give you a preview of how that template will look. It also shows you a preview button and a use that template button should you like the look of that template and want to use it for your own clips, but we'll do that later. Clicking on the preview button allows you to see a larger preview with sound. This video window also tells you the video ratio, i.e. 16:9, and which other categories this template is in. You can also choose this template for your clips, or you can preview the other 2 clips that were shown alongside in the main window. Let's go back to the main window by clicking here. There are actually 98 templates to choose from, broken down into categories, and to see all of these you need to click on See All on any of the categories. This is the window I prefer to view, as there are a lot more categories and templates to see. On here you can search for the template by name. You can also view templates by ratio, i.e. 16:9, which is standard for YouTube videos. 1:1 is the ratio for Instagram, and 9:16 can be used for YouTube Shorts. Okay, let's try searching for the word travel. As you can see, this brings up relevant templates. Now let's try the word memory. Again, it shows relevant templates. If you can't find one by search, then delete the search term by clicking here and then click on all templates on the left to see them all, and then hover over any of them to get a quick preview. This is what I generally do, as there may be a template that I like that has nothing to do with the keywords, but will look great anyway. Below all template choices, there are theme, style, and mood, and these are broken down into relevant categories, i.e. business, vlog, upbeat, etc. Let's choose travel, then the first one, travel intro, and click use this template button. You can now import your clips. They can be images, videos, or a mixture of both. Click on the cross and choose your media to import. I'm importing a mixture of images and videos. To make the best video, Filmora suggests adding more media to get a better result, but you can use any amount over 5 and up to 50 clips. Once imported, you can drag the media clips into the sequence that you want. Once you're happy with the layout, click Auto Create and let the magic begin. It may take a minute or two depending on the amount and size of your clips, but it's generally pretty quick. Filmora uses AI to find the highlights of your clips to create an amazing video. How cool and easy was that? Our video will now auto play for previewing. Let's look at what we can do with our newly created video. Across the top, we can save it as a new project and view other options such as support, help, return to main window, and exit. On the left, you can see 3 icons which allow you to edit titles, music, and change the template. You can also choose templates by ratio. Let's have a quick look at some of the ratio templates. We'll stay with 16:9 for this video. Underneath, this is where you can choose a different template but keep all of your clips as they were. Let's choose the next one along by clicking here. Filmora will ask you if you want to save the project or not. I don't want to save it as I won't be changing it after I export it. The new template along with the new music and titles will now load and play in the preview window. Now that's clever. Underneath the preview window is the scroll or scrub slider and the video duration. The buttons below are the forward and back frame by frame buttons, the play button and the stop button. To the right are the ratio drop down options and the render button, which makes playback smoother when pressed. This may take a minute or two depending on the length and size of your video. To the right of that are the undo and redo last action arrows should you make a mistake. Below are the 3 settings that affect the whole template. Effect control. If you choose After Effects with titles and transitions, you can see from the layer that you can now edit these. No Effects removes everything and will just show your video with no titles or effects. Let's put that back to all effects. Music setting lets you trim the music to coincide with the length of your clip, which makes sense to do. You can also change the volume and fade in and fade out duration here, but Filmora does a pretty good job of having these settings correct by default. Global settings lets you set a maximum duration for your video maybe for a YouTube short or Instagram video, and you can also change the font and font color here for all of your clips. So let's try that now. On the far right is the option to open up your video in Filmora's timeline, which gives you access to all the advanced editing features. At the bottom you can see your clips as they have been imported. Right clicking on a clip gives you options to replace highlight, i.e. choose a different clip for that part of the video if you want to. I don't want to, so I'll leave that alone. You can trim the video, which lets you adjust the length of the clip. Mute imported clip. I usually mute some clips but leave others with ambient sound in, which sounds good over the music. Rotate 90 degrees. Click here to undo the rotation. Once you have your settings as you want them, we can now edit the titles on the clips and change the music if you want to. You can change the title text to whatever you want in each of the sections by moving the play slider to where the text and elements are displayed, then simply double click on the title text in the viewing window to bring up the attributes so you can edit and change the text. If you want a word on another line, then put your cursor at the beginning of the word to go on the new line and hit enter on your keyboard. You can also change the font size, colour and many other attributes here. Let's have a play with some of them. If you make a mistake or don't like what you've done, you can always undo by clicking any of these. Once done, click back, then double click on another element to change their attributes. Next, move the play slider to the next part of the video where there is new text. You can see where you are in the video by the highlighted clip and playhead position. Carry on through the video, changing whatever you want. If you don't want to display text, simply delete the text in the text box by double clicking the text and hitting delete on your keyboard. Okay, so we're happy with the template and the text. Now let's change the music. Click on the music icon on the left hand side. From here you can search for one of the 40 provided, or you can choose from a drop down category, or simply scroll through the list and click on any and it will play that music in the preview window. Let's try Feet on Wood. I like that music. If you want to use that piece of music, head back over to the left side and click Use This Music button and it will apply it to your video. To hear the new music choice on your video, click on your first clip at the bottom and press play. Your music has changed. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we can export the video. You can export in many different ways, but the two most popular are local and YouTube. Local saves the exported video to your computer and YouTube uploads it to your YouTube account. To do this, you have to have a YouTube account set up. we'll save it to our computer so we can watch it offline and also upload it to wherever we want, when we want, at a later date. So under local, the most popular option is MP4, as it exports a smaller but still good quality video. You need to choose a name for your video and also where you want to save it, and then the rest of the options can be left to their defaults. Now click export and you're done. This may take a few minutes depending on the size of your video. If you haven't already downloaded Filmora, you can do so from the link in the description below. It's free to try, so why not give it a go? The first thing you need to do before you add any of your clips is you need to consider what type of music you're going to use, and obviously it has to reflect your images and video and your slideshow. So for example, a holiday slideshow wouldn't look right with a rock music background, although it might do, you never know, but you'll understand what I mean. So always go through your music, whether you use your own music or you use Filmora's built-in music library, but always try and choose one that's appropriate. My images are from the Isle of Mull in Scotland when we were on holiday there last year, so I've used a Celtic Scottish type background music. And before you start importing any of your clips into the timeline, you can import them into Filmora, which I've done already, as you can see here. But before you put them on the timeline, it's a good idea to right click on your music selection. Again, like I said, whether you've imported it or you're using Filmora's own built-in music library, right click on it and go down to beat options. There you can choose what type of beat you want. I always leave it as standard, to be honest with you. Click OK and it's complete. And now when you drag your music onto the timeline, you'll notice that it has little markers on there, and they're the beats. And it's always good to make your slideshow fit in time with the beats on your music. When the transition changes from one image or a video to another one, try and change it either on the first, second or even the fourth beat. It doesn't really matter, it depends on the actual content. But as we go along, I'll show you what I mean. Now you'll have to excuse me if you see me looking down and across, because at my stage of life I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, never mind what I did yesterday. So I'm actually referencing a couple of things on my large monitor there and the actual video that I created, because I can't remember how I did it. So hopefully I get this right. Bear with me and we'll carry on and see what happens. Right, so now that we've got our music here, I'm just going to click the plus sign to make it a little bit bigger, maybe a bit too much. And now what I want to do is import my first clip, which is a video. So when I click on that, it's quite a long video. I don't want to use all of the video, I just want to use a snippet of it. So I want it to start from the beginning. So if we click on that little marker there, it's mark in, play the video to where I want to drag it onto the timeline. It's Sunday the 30th, it's about 12:30, it's our first full day on Mull and that drum view. There's the cut. That'll be enough. I put in a second marker so you can see an in and an out marker there now. Now if I click and hold that and drag it onto the timeline, it'll just drag that amount of the video in instead of the whole video. So let me just prove that for you. Drag that down. There we go. And now if we play that from the timeline, it's Sunday the 30th, it's about 12:30, it's our first. The music is a bit loud in the background, so there's two ways of making that lower. You can either just click on that line and drag it down, or you can actually go up to the audio tab and change the actual volume there as well. So if I change that volume down to, say, let me try -10, see what that sounds like. It's Sunday the 30th. Still a little bit loud, so I'll click on that again. Sorry, I did the wrong one there. Let me just undo that. Told you, might stage your life, I don't know. I'm just going to undo the volume. I actually lowered the volume on the video clip instead of the audio clips. That's my fault. Always make sure you have clicked on the audio clip if you want to, or any clip that you want to lower the volume on. So let me lower that down again to -10. Okay, that's now on -10. Let's play that, see what that sounds like. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. Yeah, that sounds quite nice. Nice little background there. Okay, so I'm just going to mute that for a second anyway, because it's going to distract me, because I don't want all of this clip. I've dragged in a bit too much, so what I'm going to do is just play it. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. Okay, so let's stop it where to say on Mull. So let me just stop it where to say on Mull. I'll shrink that down, because that's where I want it to go. Now you can see it's landing in between beats there on the actual audio tab. So I'm going to cut that down a little bit more if I can. I'll shrink it down at the beginning. Let's see what that sounds like. There's a bit of space there as well. Let me just zoom in on that. Bit of dead space, so let me just chop that bit out because I don't need that. I'll cut it there and there. I'll delete that and I'll move that down to match up. Still not quite right, there's still a bit of dead space. So let me just get rid of that dead space as well. You know, if you haven't got any audio on it or any sound, that's fine, you don't need to do all this. I'm just doing it because I have. And it'll hopefully, if you have got some video that has got sound on it you don't want, that you do want to keep, this will show you how you can trim it down a bit so you can keep it all to the beats of the song. Right, it's still a little bit long as well. So what I might do, let's just play that again from the start. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full day on. See, there's still a bit of a gap there. So if I shrink that down just to the start, there, hopefully I'll get away with that now. There you go, that lands more or less on the beat. That might be okay. Let's just play that, make sure it's okay. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. That'll do. And you can see it, there's the next beat there. So what I'm going to do is, I've actually changed my mind. I'm not going to start the music there. I'd like to hear just me speaking to begin with. So what I'm going to do is unmute the music. And I'm going to drag it across now to let it start at the end of that video clip. But again, I've got rid of all the dead space in the first part of the video. So let's just see what that sounds like. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. Yeah, that sounds better because the music then starts at the end of that first video clip where I'm speaking, doing an introductory. So that's good. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we want to add a couple of titles there. So if you go to titles and search whatever title you want, I've actually downloaded some of my favorites here, and one of them was Travel Chick Title 2. Chick or Chic, I think it's Chic, it might be Chic, I don't know. So I'll drag that onto the timeline. Okay, I'll make it the same length as the video. Now let's just play that to see how it works with the actual video. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full. Okay. I'm going to change that title just to say Sunday the 30th, I think I said. Let me just check my video that I did down here. Yeah, Sunday the 30th. Okay. So what I want to do on this is just keep the text, but get rid of the little swirl because this is just going to be the top intro text. Okay, I'm just going to keep this text on here. I'm going to get rid of the swirl, and you do that by simply clicking on it. And you can see up here, we're on the layer there. You can see on here we have a text layer and a video layer, and the video layer is the swirl. I don't want that. So what I do is I click on it and just press delete on the keyboard. That gets rid of it. The text I'm going to change to say Sunday the 30th. And I'm going to make it smaller. You can do it two ways. You can decrease the font size by clicking on here and choosing whichever one you want. I prefer to just click and drag because you get a better control over it really. Sunday the 30th, let me just put that above the actual cottage roof. Okay, let's see how that looks. It's Sunday the 30th. Okay, it works, but it comes in a bit quick. It doesn't match my voice if you watch. It's Sunday the 30th. So what I want to do is I want to change the animation on that. Click on the title. Go to advanced in the bottom right. And now you'll see this is the actual title. So if I drag this down, it'll come in slower. Let's see if I can get it to match me voice. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about not far off, a bit too much, so drag it back up a bit. Let's try that again. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's well, okay, that's not too bad. So apply that. Try it again. It's Sunday the 30th. Yeah, that works, okay. Now I like that type of title because it's plain, it's simple, and it's not taken away from the actual image. You can get some titles that look really good, but you know, they're fancy and you've got things flashing all over the place. And to me, that'll take away from a slideshow image. So I like to keep them quite simple and basic. You can do other effects on them and obviously transitions, which will help. What I'm going to do now is, because I like that title, I'm going to drag it down again. I'll start it a little bit further in this time. Drag it across so it matches the same length as the video, and I want that to say the Isle of Mull. So we click on that. You can see you can change the text there. Isle of Mull, which is a nice size. I'm going to drag the text, the actual text section of this video down to about there. Maybe shrink it down a bit. I'll just check on my previous video, see how big it was. Okay, yeah, not far off. I'll make that a little bit smaller and move that down. And I want this swirl to come underneath, so you literally just click on the swirl, or you can actually choose the layers here. Click on each layer, takes you to the right one. So video layer, I'll drag that down. Now you notice it's not quite big enough to go to the end of the word mull. Simply click and drag and move that down again. Put in position. Let's play that, see what it looks like. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. Isle of Mull came in way too fast there. So what we can do again is click on there, on the actual title itself. Click on Advanced or Advanced. And again we can see that Isle of Mull came in far too quick. So if we drag that down again, that'll make it come in slower. Let's try that again. It's about 12:30. Right, it's still coming in too fast. Now, it's not the actual fade that's coming in too fast. It's the actual text, the word in itself. So, what we can do is now click on there and drag that down. Let's try that. 30th, it's about 12:30. It's our first full day. Still too much. Drag that down again. See how that looks? 30th, it's about 12:30. It's our first full day. Maybe a bit more. You don't want it to come in too soon before you say it. 30th, it's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. One more, I think. Give that a go. 30th, it's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. That's not too bad. I'll fade it in a bit slower. That's pretty close. 30th, it's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. Okay, it's, you know, trial and error, but we'll stick with that. That's okay for our first one. Okay, the next bit of the video I'll need to look to find out what I did next because I really can't remember. Okay, it goes from there to the two boats. And like I said, I've already imported my media. So the next image, well, this next bit is going to be an image, not a video. So I'll click and drag and put it right next to the first video. I'll make that a bit smaller. And you can see that more or less fills 2 beats, which might be good. So let me just drag that across and line up with the second beat, and that's when the music will kick in as well. So let's see what that looks like. It's Sunday the 30th. It's about 12:30. It's our first full day on Mull. Yeah, that looks okay. Good. Oh, and there's a nice sound there on the music. So what we'll do is we will add an effect onto this. But before we add an effect, we'd like to add also a bit of movements on it as well. So if we right click, go to crop and zoom, then pan and zoom. What I'm going to do is I wanted to, let me just check what I did last time. Yeah, I added zooming out. So we need to have our start point inside here and the end point outside here. And a simpler way of doing that is by, on the right hand side, we click on that, it changes to start and end point. Okay, so let me just make that a bit bigger. We don't want it to be too much of a zoom. In fact, let me just show you. Let me just, if we did it like that, see how fast it zooms? We don't want it like that. So what we want to do is make this quite subtle really, and the way we do that is by making a larger box there, so it'll only zoom in quite slow. That looks better, we'll keep that, apply that. Let's see what that looks like. I'll go from the very start, we'll just go from here. Yeah, that works nice. Okay, we'll add a light effect to that as well, so it looks like there's a light flare on it as well. And what we do with that is we go to effects, and I've already saved it in my favorites somewhere, probably down the bottom. Well, I thought I'd saved it in my favorites. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Yeah, sorry, it's the very first one. I don't know. Okay, it's called Lighting Overlay, and I think it's number 18. Yes, if you leave your mouse on it, it shows up then. And you can search for that purely by going to recommended and putting in Lighting Overlay 18, and it's the first one there. Drag and drop that just above your clip. You can drag it onto if you want to, but I prefer to drag it above, and then you've got a few more options on it. Okay, and that adds a lighting effect, so let's just see how that looks. Nice, but a little bit too harsh, so I will click on that, make sure I've got it highlighted, and now you can see once I click on that one, you're in the effects tab immediately because it's on its own timeline. Just want to drop the opacity down a bit, don't want it to be too harsh. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's better, it's quite nice. Okay, also what I want to do to that is I want to add a title, but it's a lower third, which means it lands down here somewhere, just to say where that place was in Mull. And the way we do that is we go to titles. Again, I've saved the title in my favourite, but it's called DIY Ink Pack lower thirds. So again, if you want to find it, click on recommended, type in DIY pack, just DIY pack will do. Click on that, I'm sure we'll find it from there. Yes, there it is. There's two different colours actually. I've used this one, and you can see it's in my favourites because I've got the little star click there. And you can add that and take it out of your favourites simply by clicking on there. If it's green, it's in your favourites. If it's blank, it's not. So let's drag and drop that onto the clip as well. We'll make it the same length as our clip. And what I want to do is, I don't want to use the bottom text, just the top text. So if we click on the bottom text, you'll see we have the options here. We've got the video, which is the colour background. We've got lower text there and it highlights it. That's the one I don't want, so I'll delete that. And the ink pack I want to change to the name Salon, or Salon, sorry, which is a lovely place in Mull. I'm going to move that down slightly simply by clicking on it. A little bit fiddly to get it. Clicking on it and dragging it over. And I'm going to make it a bit bigger as well actually. And just move it into position again. Let's try that, see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, let me just find out what I did next. Sorry about this. I added another video. Right, so in your media, whatever video or image you're using. Okay, so there's a piece of footage I forgot to import. Not doing very good on this one, am I? So click on that. Let's find our footage. I love Mull holiday clips, and it was number 11. Again, this is quite a big video, long video. I don't need all of it, so what I'm going to do is click on it there. So start playing. I know it's near the end somewhere, the clip I wanted to use. So, let me go back there. It's too far. It's a case of scrubbing through the video and finding out where it is. Right, I think we're close there. Yeah. Okay. So I think it started from about. Let me just check my video again. Yeah, okay, it started roughly about there where it just started to lift up. Okay, maybe a little bit lower. That'll do. So we put our in point there, then we take it to where we want to play it out. I think it went to, yeah, it's just where it went off screen there. So maybe a little bit more. That's okay, maybe there. We move our out clip to there, and then we drag that onto our timeline. Okay, I'm just going to keep the project setting for this one. Okay, I'm going to move along so you can see. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. That covers nearly 5 beats. So let me just see how that plays out. That works nice. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to start it a little bit later. In fact, no, you know what? I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because that's a video clip, moving clip, I'm going to let it go over 5 beats. Let's see if that's too long. Shaky drone footage by me there, sorry. Well, that works okay. And then I'm going to actually cut both clips at the end here, because this is just a demonstration, but obviously you would carry on adding all your other clips as well, but this is for demonstration purposes. Get rid of that music. And you can actually fade the music out quite simply. Zoom in, and you see when you hover over, move the timeline out the way, you see like a little white dot appear. You simply click and drag there, and then the music will fade out.
It's
okay. Right, so let's go back to our clip. Make it a bit small again so we can see it. There we go, we can see it all there. Right, and what I did on the other video was when it started coming in here, I added a little map of the UK and then a little pointer on there to show where the Isle of Mull was in Scotland. So I downloaded a transparent image of Great Britain, so let me just drag that on. Which is there, a map of Great Britain. A bit too big and in the wrong position, so you simply click on it, drag it down and move it to where you want. I've got a little piece of Great Britain up there, or the Isles off Great Britain, that I don't want on the map. So what I can do with that is click on it, make sure we highlight it, go to mask, use a circle, or a oval, sorry, or a circle. Invert the mask so we can see most of that. I'm just going to drag it up and off until that bit disappears. That's great. That works, okay. Right, the map comes in quite harshly, so we want to fade that in. The way we do that is click on it, go to animation, click and drag fade in. At this moment you can't really see it because these bars are a bit small. If you right click on the bar and do adjust track height to normal, you'll see all the track heights become a better size. You can see what's going on. Right, the fade, let's see where the fade starts as we play it there. Comes in too slow, so what we want to do is move that first fade, the start of the fade to the beginning, and move that in slightly as well. Let's see how that goes. That works okay. And then what I want to do is, as the video starts moving across, I want it to fade out. So let's click in the animation tab again, click and drag a fade out, drag it on and adjust accordingly. So that'll fade out from there to there now. So let's see how that works. Want it to fade out just as it moves. That works well, okay. The next thing I did, which I can't remember, is, oh yes, of course, yeah. I put a little marker, a little point on the map where Scotland was, like I said 5 minutes earlier, so forgive me. And the way you do that is under stickers. Again, I've saved it in my favourites, I think. No, I haven't. Okay. Under stickers, if you put location, brings up all little stickers. The first one, oh, it is in my favourites, I just couldn't find it.
Hello?
Sorry about that. The first one is the one I used. I simply clicked and dragged that onto the timeline above the actual map, made it the same size. It's obviously way too big and in the wrong position. Simply click on it, drag it down to scale, and then move it to wherever you want. I wanted it there, so it's just off the mainland of Scotland. And let's just see how that works. We'll have to do a fade in and out on this as well. Oh, comes in okay actually. Yeah, because the actual animation is built into that actual sticker itself, that works quite nice. So I'll leave that as it is. I'll just need a fade out, I think, unless it fades out itself. Yeah, no, I need a quick fade out on that. So click on the actual item you want to fade out, go to the animation tab, click and drag fade out down, and again just adjust accordingly. Let's see how that works. That works well. Now we're on to our last clip. Sorry, not our last clip, our last thing we did on the clip, which was to add a lower third with motion tracking. Let's first of all get our title, and the one I used was called Call Out 6, which I have here. But again, if you go to recommendations and search for it, it's the first one there. I dragged and dropped that onto the timeline above the clip. It's way too long at the moment, so I'm actually going to shrink that down to the same size. Let's just see how it plays. I know it's too big and got the wrong text in, but we'll just see how it plays first. Okay, that works okay. I might fade out at the end, but it's not too bad at the moment. So what I want to do is use the text within here, and I can't remember if I used the black one or the white one. I used the black text, okay. So I want to get rid of the white text, and the way you do that is you click on the actual demo text title. You can see it's highlighted here. Press delete on there. I want to change that to say the sound of Mull, which is the stretch of water you can see in the video between the two islands. Sorry, between the island and the mainland. The sound of Mull. Okay, I also want to shrink this down because it's too big. So let's move that down to maybe that size. I'll click and move the text in there as well. That's fitted in quite nice. If it doesn't, if it's too big or too small, just simply drag the two corners like that. Okay, and now I want all of this to actually be, and let me go back to the beginning of the clip. I want that to come in there, which it does, and then I want it to fade out at the end, and that's okay for the end of the video. That's fine. I now want to do motion tracking, so this lower third follows that little island there, because when you do motion tracking you need to have something to focus on. If I started the motion tracking in the middle of the ocean, I don't think it would work very well. There's nothing for it to actually track. Okay, so let me just try that first of all. Let me go on to the actual clip where the motion tracking will be. Now don't forget, this will be tracking that little island, so I need to do the motion tracking on that clip of the island, which is this one here. I'll go to where it first starts, around about there, say. Okay, from there. I need to go to the AI tools and go down to motion tracking. It's not activated at the moment, so switch that on. A little box appears, and now what I want to do is put that box, oops. Now what I want to do, I'm just going to hide the top tracks for a second so I can see what I'm doing. I need to put that box over the island, or the little bit of island I can see, shrink it right down, because it's just that I want it to track, nothing else. Once you've done that, you actually click on motion tracking, and you can see the box actually followed the island perfectly, which is great. Now once you've done that, I'm going to unhide that track again. You go back to the motion tracking section and you choose what you want to motion track, and it is the call out. So I click on that. I'll just move it in a bit because I may have to move it. Okay, now it's tracking it, but it's in the wrong place. So what you need to do is you click on that, you simply move both of them across to where you want it to be. So first of all, that needs to point to the island, and I need to move the text back up into the box. I'm sure there's a way you can move both of them together, but I always forget how to do it, to be honest with you. If you know how to move both of them together at the same time, please let me know in the comments, because I've done it in the past, but once again I forgot how to do it, so apologies. I would like to know though, so if you do figure that out, please let me know. Right, so we've now just targeted that little island. Let's see how that works. How clever is that? Let's play the whole clip from the start. See what that looks like. It's Sunday the 30th, it's about 12:30, it's our first full day on Mull. Obviously you can use transitions as well. Let me show you the quick transition. Go to our transitions tab. Let's just drag dissolve down. You can search for anything and we'll dissolve between there and there. Let's just see what that looks like. Nice transition between the two. So again, you can use all sorts of transitions as well. So let's just play that from the start. It's Sunday the 30th, it's about 12:30, it's our first full day on Mull. Transition kicks in. Okay, that looks quite nice. Okay, so that was just a quick tutorial on how to create your own slideshows using images, videos, using transitions, effects, stickers, and using the beat detection on your audio. Important to use that first because your video does look nicer when your images are in time with the beat. Although instant mode, I must admit, is a quick and easy way of doing it. They have all the transitions, effects, you can put your own sound in there as you discovered. So whatever you feel is best for you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's a bit longer than normal and I do apologise. I hope none of you have nodded off during the process. But again, if you do like these videos, please let me know. I'll carry on doing them. Thank you for all your lovely comments and thank you for all my subscribers. I do appreciate it all. And as always, thanks for watching. Now go have some fun.